guys, this is Mac. Welcome back and thanks for joining me for today's video. Today, a quick video about some of my gear for 2015, and today we're focusing on the handgun. I've made a couple of minor modifications to my Glock 34, but for the most part, we're running the same stuff as last year. So since I haven't done an update on my handgun in about 2 years, I thought it would be a good time to just focus on how I've got this thing set up for this year. Now, as you know, I've been running this Glock 34 for a little over a year, and I really love this handgun. I shoot it quite well at this point. Now, it's been a long learning process for me with the handgun. I've always struggled just a little bit, and this is the weakest part of my 3-gun game. So I try really hard to practice and also dry fire a lot at home to make sure that I bring this up on par with some of the other parts of 3-gun. So my Glock 34 has always worked really well for me. And here are just a couple of changes that I've made for this year. Now, I'm still running my Dave Savigny Warren Tactical sights, both front and rear on this Glock 34. The front is the red fiber optic, which is my absolute favorite front sight. It's so quick to get on target, and when you bring the pistol up, that red dot just finds your eye. I mean, it is so easy to get right in the center of your vision. Now, as you know, last year I did stipple this Glock 34, and this just feels absolutely phenomenal. It's so comfortable in my hand, and it's so much easier, honestly, to shoot accurately with a better grip on the handgun. I'd used some other stick-on grips before, and they were okay, but stippling for me absolutely has been the way to go, and I love how it feels on my Glock. Now, 2 major changes for this year. First off, our barrel. I've been testing and trying out a Wilson Combat stainless steel precision barrel in this Glock, and so far I've really liked the results. I'm spending this entire year sort of testing it, putting a lot of rounds through it to see how accurately I can shoot it, and so far I'm really impressed with the results, so I can't wait to put it out into a match and see what happens. Now, second, I was also sent a new trigger to try out, and I'll be reviewing this in the very near future here on my YouTube channel. But this is a smooth-faced, enhanced Glock 34 trigger made by OC Custom Triggers out in California. I cannot get past how great this trigger feels. First off, it's a completely smooth and polished trigger bar. It drops completely in and replaces the trigger and trigger bar from your factory settings. Second, they send you a spring pack to customize the trigger pull, and since I already had Wolf springs in my Glock 34, I didn't need to change any of those out. And third, this trigger has an adjustable pre-travel screw, and I was able to get this thing exactly where I wanted it. And let me just tell you, there's absolutely no pre-travel left in this trigger, and it feels so comfortable with the enhanced version. If you don't know what enhanced means in this trigger, is that the small red trigger safety that you can see in the middle of the trigger, which is on all Glocks, it's basically a safety that prevents you from dropping the handgun and having it go off, because the trigger safety has to be depressed in order for the trigger to pull. What they've done is they've shaved it down to a more natural physiologic shape. So when you pull the trigger back, you don't feel it anymore. You try a factory trigger on a Glock, and when you pull that back, you always feel that ridge right in the middle of the pad of your finger. Because this one is curved, it matches the shape of the trigger shoe. So when you pull it back, it just disappears and you don't feel it anymore. And it makes this thing so incredibly comfortable to shoot. I can't wait to put up my review on this trigger, because it's going to be a glowing one, I can promise you. I love this OC custom trigger for my Glock 34, so that's another one of the things that I'm super excited to get out to a match this year and see if it improves my performance. Now, honestly, most of my performance falls on me. That's why I'm putting in the time practicing here at home and dry firing a lot, practicing draws from my holster. So those are just some of the changes here to my Glock. Now, I'm still running the same magazines as always. These are factory 17-round Glock 17 mags. I have 2 different sets of base pads that I use. These are by Dawson Precision. They add approximately 5 rounds to the magazine, so I usually download them by 1 and run 22 in here. They work great, never had any problems. Before I got those, I already had these made by Arredondo. They also add 5, and they also work great as well. Only difference in these 2 is these are made out of plastic, the Dawsons are made out of metal. So both of those work really well for me. And with regard to my belt setup for my pistol, no changes there as well. I'm still running this Revolution holster, which works really well, and it's really small, really light, so no need to make any changes there as well. So once again, this is Mac. Thanks for joining me for today's video. I just wanted to give everyone a quick update on some of my new gear and my setup for this upcoming 3-gun season, which I can't wait to get in my first match. That's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I'd love for you to do that. You're going to get weekly content about guns, gear reviews, and 3-gun matches. And you can do that by clicking the Bullitt logo directly over my left shoulder or the subscribe link directly below this video. And if you haven't, please share this video with someone else who you think might be interested in checking out a standard setup for 3-gun. So once again, this is Mac. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.